Hello, scholars, and welcome to weeks 9 and 10 of Applying Philosophy to Modern Global Issues. Thanks for your hard work and creative contributions over the last 3 weeks to our discussion of the differing approaches to achieving social justice in India. I thoroughly enjoyed reading Behind the Beautiful Forevers with you. For the next 2 weeks, we will be turning our focus to an issue which has gripped the attention of America over the past year: crime and punishment in America. Since the 1970s, America has been fighting a war on drugs, with aggressive legal and policing strategies implemented during the 1980s and 1990s. During the Reagan and Clinton administrations, Congress passed Stern 3 strikes and you're out laws, which made the possession or distribution of drugs into felonies. Get convicted of 3 felonies, and you are going away for a long, long time. Although drugs still proliferate in our society today, levels of violent crime did decline during the 1990s and 2000s. But this decline was accompanied by a vast rise in the number of people, particularly African American men, who are incarcerated in our prisons. The raw numbers are startling. Just look at the graph below. The number of people in prison has risen from about 500,000 in 1980 to over 2.2 million today. That's a 400% increase. The incarceration rate in America has grown to over 700 per 100,000 people, and that leads the nations of the developed world by a huge margin. And of the 2.2 million people in our prisons today, nearly half are African American. In the poorer sections of our cities, where the economy has been hit hardest by the flight of blue-collar jobs overseas, the drug trade has flourished, and African American men have been prosecuted and convicted of drug-related crimes in huge numbers. By some estimates, 1 in every 3 living African American men will serve time in prison at some point in their life. The policing strategies used to combat the drug problem in America have also led to a spate of police brutality cases and the use of lethal force against African American men. From Ferguson to Detroit to New York City to North Charleston to Baltimore, communities have been rocked by the death of African Americans at the hands of the police. In my own hometown of Baltimore, the death of Freddie Gray in police custody sparked riots across the city in late April. Since that time, an epidemic of drug-related violence has afflicted the city, and Baltimore's business community is now afraid that the effects of this violence will devastate the city's economic growth. What is to be done about the current state of crime and punishment in America? During this unit, we'll examine the complex problem which has led to this volatile situation which exists today. The problem of inner-city poverty is complex. Not only do we wrestle with how to enforce the law, but we also struggle to devise effective strategies for reducing the poverty which drives crime. Your primary job during this unit will be to choose an aspect of this complex problem to focus on. Once you have chosen a topic, you're going to work with a classmate to create a presentation on this topic together. This presentation will be due on Wednesday, November 11th. You might be interested in how the history of oppression against blacks in America has impacted the situation today. You might be interested in addressing the policing strategies used during the war on drugs, which have provoked such angry protest. You might be interested in education reform and how our public schools can do a better job of preparing young people from the inner city to find a job. You might be interested in alternative methods of dealing with drug addicts rather than incarcerating them. You might be interested in exploring local entrepreneurial initiatives which seek to bring more business to our inner cities. Once you have chosen your topic, choose a classmate as a partner to explore this issue. Look at the way the different cities in which you live are responding to inner-city poverty. Compare the approaches. As part of your investigation, please find a local official to interview and include a summary of that interview in your presentation. Think about how our study of philosophy can help us gain insight into these problems. Too often, the debate about controversial topics arouses passions which inflame the conversation and force people to default to partisan positions. That is where a philosophical approach can help. To inform our discussion of crime and punishment in America, we'll study the philosophical foundations of our current justice system. How and why do we determine who should be punished? What should be the purpose of incarceration? How do we assimilate criminals who have served their time back into the general population? Well, that's all for now. I hope you all will get started soon on your projects and sign up for a topic, and I'll see you all later online. That is all.